I believe that money's attracted to good stewards of the asset. So I'm 100% with you. If you can't manage what you got, you're not going to get more. It's just the
Right.
bottom line, because it's attracted to those who know how to deploy it. I look at every dollar as a money warrior. And is that warrior going out fighting and bringing back more with it? Or are you killing it off? Welcome, income hackers. This is your host, Ryan G. Wright. This podcast is for individuals and families who are interested in fast-tracking their financial success. You'll hear experts discussing topics like generating a residual cash flow, building wealth through real estate, financial literacy, creating a family legacy, and overcoming your fears. If you get value out of this podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. It's a big help to me. Warm welcome for all those listening with us today to Colton. Colton, thanks for being here.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me here. I'm excited to chat with you guys for a little bit. I tell everyone I became financially free by 31 and miserable by 32. So that's something I'm passionate about, helping people say, hey, your answer to you guys' problems is not just money. Money's going to make your life cool and fun and make it easier, but it ain't going to make it happier. And so then we're here today where now I'm doing a bunch of podcasts, and I landed with you and teaching hundreds of agents all over North America how to grow their business, create passive income, and live a fulfilled life.
I have a saying I say all the time is, change the mind and the money will follow.
I don't think the problem with human beings in creating income hacks is not having the resources. It's not being resourceful, and it's not thinking differently. Everyone says, oh, we got to think out of the box. There is no box. Stop thinking about boxes and limitations. Anything is possible. And if you have the drive and the resourcefulness, you'll find a freaking solution. Create so much value, you'll always find a way to victory. And I think there's this weird thing inside of people. I don't know where it comes from, but you either got this freaking hunger or you don't. When we talk about cash flow, that is how the entire economy runs. If money stops flowing through the economy, if money stops being spent, we are so screwed in the whole world. That's why they keep doing, that's why they keep inflating the money, so to speak, by printing more dollars, by doing quantitative easing. We got $21 trillion in debt. It doesn't matter. The debt does not matter. What matters is that we can keep circulating money and flowing the money.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about a income hacker mind shift. We've talked about a few of them, but is there anything else that comes to mind? Like, share a time when you had an income hacker where the mind just shift. You saw something new for the first time. We've talked about the difference between speculation and cash flow, but anything else, any other moment you could share when like the light bulb went off for you?
It was, here's how life works. I believe life gives us tests and then we learn the lesson. It's not like we get it all of a sudden, so we do it. It's we do it, and then after we're doing it, we get it. That's how it's worked for me in my life. Yeah. So I would say single-handedly, the one income hack that has shifted my entire financial destiny is cash flow management. If you cannot manage a dollar, you will never manage $1 million or $10 million, okay? So when we look at cash flow management, we know ahead of time, responsibly, we are the stewards of our money. We know where everything's going. If cash flow is the name of the game, cash flow management is the filter of the flow. We get to navigate the flow, okay? And so where are we navigating the flow? Most of us are unconsciously just letting the money flow through us, and we don't even know. We have no stewardship over it. We are literally turning over our financial responsibility to the government, to financial advisors, which are really just salespeople making huge commissions. We are turning over responsibility of our financial destiny to other people. We're not taking what I believe is the second most important step in getting financially literate and learning to know, how do I flow my money, which is a great book, by the way. It's called Profit First. If you guys have not read Profit First, go read that book. That's a very simple concept. The other one that really teaches it quite well is The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker.
Absolutely.
So we create this filter. How much is going into, I call it your country donations account, right? Instead of taxes. I like
feel better.
It makes you feel better, right? How much is going into my pay myself first account, which most people think once I get past my bad debt, once I get through this struggle, this challenge, this thing, get my ground on the feet, get my business running, then I'll start paying myself first. And that's a lie. That's a myth. That's the wrong way to do it. Start paying yourself first immediately in everything you do, okay? And you put that money there, even if you can't make your freaking house payment, or even if you can't make your freaking light bill. I'm telling you, be so obsessed with making your first payment to yourself.
I believe that money's attracted to good stewards of the asset. So I'm 100% with you. If you can't manage what you got, you're not going to get more. It's just the
Right.
bottom line, because it's attracted to those who know how to deploy it. I look at every dollar as a money warrior. And is that warrior going out fighting and bringing back more with it? Or are you killing it off? So that's fantastic.
Do not make financial investments under stress. If you are in a negative space, or you got some challenges with your marriage, or some health issues, or even financial, whatever, if something is bogging you down to a negative state of emotion, do not make a decision at that point. Get your emotional state up. And this is the sixth thing I teach for financial freedom, for the 6 fundamentals, is your psychological and your emotional state. Get yourself into your emotional state.
I'm not a big fan of land, because land doesn't cash flow. So if you buy a piece of dirt, it's not going to cash flow. You have liability because you got to pay the taxes. So unless it's a quick type situation, I'm not a big fan of dirt, because you're speculating that the growth will come to you someday, and then you have the liability of it. So I'm not a big fan of dirt personally. I really like this concept of you make money when you buy, and you realize that gain when you sell. So all the money's made in the acquisition. You just realize it when you sell, but the better that deal is, the more profitable it'll be.
Well, you could even realize money on that when you get a good banker that you work with, which I recommend Cash Valley Bank here in Utah, you can then work commercial loans with them.
A lot of people are really worried, the market's too high. I want to wait to buy something. It's the highest it's been. If I buy something today, it could go down, and they're waiting on buying. What's your philosophy on that? Are you actively buying rentals? Are you holding out? What's your thoughts?
Look, I'm actively buying deals. I'm actively buying opportunities. If it's in real estate, I'm buying it. If it's in stocks, I'm buying it. If it's in cryptos, I'm buying it. If it's in a weed company, I'm buying it. I'm looking for deals that are undervalued, which happen in a hot market and a bad market. What I would say to that person is, get out of your freaking head and get out of that scarcity mindset, because you're giving your certainty and your control away to the environment. And you're never going to make it as an investor like that. You've got to take that absolute certainty and put it in your core that, listen, I'm going to go find a way to make money. I'm going to go find a deal that makes sense, and I'm going to do it. And you got to move through the uncomfortable feeling of uncertainty. See, our success and our achievement and our fulfillment is directly proportionate to the amount of uncertainty that we can comfortably handle. And if you haven't done your first deal, it's a little bit scary. So you better get with an expert that knows what the freak they're doing. That's the challenge, though. There's a lot of people that are fake experts out there, and you might give your money to the wrong person. So make sure you believe in the person, right? But you got to make that deal happen, and there's deals happening every single day. It's just, are you paying attention to them? If you're scared that the market's high and the market's going to come down, you're not going to find those deals. Your mind's closed off to it. But if you're open, you'll find the deals.
I love it. Take note of that exclamation mark. If your mindset's not in the right place, you're not going to be there. I love it. I think a lot of people underestimate the cost associated with owning a piece of real estate, from capital improvements to, fixing the sink and all that type of stuff. So when they're doing their calculations, they probably understate those things. But I think a lot of people are worried about those being such big problems that stops them from buying. Owning a bunch of residential real estate rentals, the phone doesn't ring off the hook with problems all the time. It doesn't happen. So, houses, if you think your own house, when's the last time your toilet broke? It doesn't happen every day, but I think people it gets a bad rap, like, oh, it's happening all the time. No, I can't remember the last time, something like that broke in my house. But there is ongoing maintenance that needs to happen to keep the house in good condition. So make sure you're calculating those things when you're making your purchase, but don't let the fear of having to do those things stop you from getting in the game in the beginning.
When a small business needs a great CPA/CFO, listen, he's going to teach me a lot, but it's my job to challenge that dude. It's my job. I'm the one that's really driving this company. I want to make sure that I'm really pushing the limits here to maximize my profits, reduce my expenses, and to make sure that I'm driving forward. I'm not going to leave that responsibility to someone else.
Yeah, it's an income hacker principle. Do not delegate your financial success to others, period. Sometimes people feel better about doing that. Oh, he's taking care of that, so I don't have the weight or the pressure or I don't have to make the choices. I got a guy that does that for me. But the reality is that guy needs to be you. Yep. You have got to own your financial responsibilities.
Find that cash flow management system and start doing it. Start managing cash flow. And then second, get obsessed with getting educated. That's cool. You guys are listening to this podcast. You're going to get cool ideas or whatever. but start taking that cash flow, part of the investment, you can have cash flows into an education account. Start buying more books, start going to more seminars, start going through more virtual, webinar programs. Get into an immersed program of 3 to 5 days, learning about how this works on a higher level. And I think you need to get really clear on who you're investing in with the education program, because there is a lot of fly by night out there. So you need to have this principle. Do they have the physical results that I want in my life? If they do, awesome, let's invest. If they don't have the results, don't do it. I think the second thing of that is get coachable, get learnable, be willing to change the way you're currently doing, because what you're currently doing is what you're currently getting. You got to shift that quickly. And then I think the third part of that is make sure that you understand it's not as much important the how, although you need to have a how, a strategy, a structure. That's probably 10% of it. Get way more focused on the purpose. A lot of people call it the why, and understand that when I focus on that in my state of emotions, the how will show up. It's like walking at night in a forest with a flashlight. I can't see the whole forest, but I take that next step and I can see the next 10 feet. And then the fourth thing is focus on the fundamentals. No one ever became amazing by not focusing on the foundation.
Oh, that's so fantastic.
Don't take life so serious. It's life and negotiations have so much in common. You have to care, but not that much.
I love it. You got to care, but not that much. Well, warm welcome, or warm thank you, I should say, to Colton for being here today. We've had some huge value bombs, some huge gold nuggets. Really, it's up to you now. Take something you've listened to, go and apply it into your life. That may be a mindset. It might be a specific strategy. Lots of things we can learn today. So really happy to have Colton on the call with us today. Really appreciate the gold nuggets that you've shared with us. And that's all for now, guys. Until next time, thanks for being with us here on Income Hacker Nation. If you got value out of our discussion today, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. It's a big help to me. Also, please share with a friend. Nothing is more valuable than creating financial friends who are like-minded. You can do that by inviting them to listen to the Income Hacker podcast. Bye for now, and make it a very profitable day.